This court's going to call cause number C-242-637. This is in the 317th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Dalen Alleman Santinez. All right. Miss Dolores Nash, are you going to be acting as the interpreter for me in this courtroom today?
Yes, sir, I am.
Miss Nash, please raise your right hand. Miss Nash, do you solemnly swear to interpret to the best of your ability English to Spanish and Spanish to English for the benefit of the court?
Yes, sir, I do.
You promise and swear that you are going to not mislead the court in regards to the answers that are given or the questions that you're asked to give to the parties.
I will not.
You can put your hand down, Ms. Nash. Ms. Alexander, does the state have any objection to Ms. Nash acting as my interpreter?
No objections at all, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Nash, I need you to ask Ms. Alleman if she has any objection to you acting as my interpreter today.
Señora Alemán, quiere saber si tiene algún problema de que yo interprete el caso.
No, ningún problema.
No, no problem.
Same question for Mr. Santinez.
Señor Santínez, igual, si tiene algún problema de que yo interprete en su caso. No.
Ms. Nash, please ask the parties to raise their right hands.
Levanten la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you solemnly swear
Que ustedes van a testificar.
to tell the truth,
Que van a decir la verdad,
the whole truth,
toda la verdad
and nothing but the truth?
y solamente la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
You can both put your hands down.
Pueden bajar la mano.
All right, Ms. Nash, let's see what we can do. We'll talk to Ms. Alleman first. Ms. Alleman, you reached what you thought was an agreement with the Attorney General's office in their office. Let me make sure I got the date right. On January the 5th of 2023.
Señora, que usted tuvo un acuerdo con la oficina de manutención el 5 de enero de 2023 acerca de la manutención de los niños.
Sí.
Yes.
And the agreement that you reached with the state, it dealt with conservatorship, visitation, child support, medical support, retroactive child support, and court costs. You're still in agreement with the terms of that proposed order.
Que nosotros tuvimos un acuerdo con usted acerca de la manutención, aseguranza, los derechos de cada uno con los niños y de lo retroactivo. ¿Es correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Santinez, you also participated in this, an attempted agreed order with the Attorney General's office. Is that correct?
Señor Santínez, usted también estaba presente en la conferencia de tratar de hacer un acuerdo.
Sí.
Yes.
And you also agreed to the conservatorship, visitation, child support, medical support. You did not agree to the retroactive child support. Is that correct?
Y que usted estaba de acuerdo con la manutención, la aseguranza, las visitaciones, los mismos derechos. Lo único que no estaba de acuerdo era con la cantidad de manutención retroactiva, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
The court is going to accept as an agreement those portions of the order that's been sent to me, except for the retroactive child support. That will be the order of the court. The only issue, therefore, is the retroactive. Please explain that to the court, to the party.
Que él va a aceptar todo lo que ustedes estaban de acuerdo. Lo único que vamos a hablar va a ser de la manutención retroactiva, ¿correcto?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Alexander, your case has been called. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would call Mariotti. Senora, what is your full name?
Por favor, diga su nombre completo.
Marjorie Fabiola Alemán Maradiaga.
Mariyuri Saviola Alemán.
Fabiola.
Fabiola.
Sí. Alemán Maradiaga.
How old is the child before the court?
¿Qué edad tiene el niño enfrente de, ahorita que estamos hablando de en corte?
Tiene 3 añitos.
3 years.
What is the date of birth of the child?
Fecha de nacimiento.
9 de abril del 2019.
The 9th day of April. ¿De qué año, señora?
2019.
2019.
Okay. Did you and Mr. Santinez ever reside together?
¿Usted y el señor Santines alguna vez vivieron juntos?
Vivir juntos, no.
She
Nomás
said,
cuando pasábamos vacaciones en Cuba.
live together? No, never. Only on vacations when they were in Cuba.
Okay. What support has Mr. Santines provided for the child since the child was born?
¿Qué clase de manutención o ayuda le ha estado dando el señor Santines desde que nació el niño?
Son $100 lo que él le da mensual.
100?
100.
She said $100 monthly.
Was that every month from the date?
Eso era todo el tiempo, o sea, cada mes desde que nació.
Cada mes, sí, cada mes $100 y alguna cosa extra que yo le pedía, pues era un problema.
She said, yes, every month he gave her $100. Every now and then she would ask for additional help, and it was always a problem.
When was the last time he gave you the $100?
¿Cuándo fue la última vez que el señor le dio los $100?
Hace 3 meses atrás, a ver, enero, como en noviembre. Hasta noviembre le dio $100.
She said up until November of 2022.
That was the last time he gave her $100.
Esa es la última vez que él le dio $100.
La última vez que le dio $100, sí.
Yes.
Luego empezó con 200.
¿Perdón?
Que luego empezó con 200, 3 meses atrás con 200. Pero el último pago de enero, ese sí no se pudo retirar porque yo no puedo retirar en cheque y él me dio en cheque.
She said, yes, he was giving her $100 per month. And then he tried to give her $200, but he wrote it in a check and she cannot cash that check.
Okay. How would he send these funds to you?
¿Cómo le mandaba el dinero a usted, señora?
Por Western Union.
Western Union.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Are you next witness?
The state will call Mr. Santines.
Señor Santines,
What is your full name?
¿cuál es su nombre completo?
Yainel Santines Acuna.
Perdón, déjeme fijarme cómo dijo. Es Yainel Santines Acuna.
Did you and mom ever reside together, live together as a couple?
¿Usted y la señora Alemán alguna vez vivieron juntos como pareja? No.
Okay. What support have you provided for the child since the child was born?
¿Qué clase de ayuda o manutención le ha estado dando al niño desde que nació?
Bueno, yo envié a ustedes, les envié todo el dinero que yo le he mandado. Aquí yo tengo la prueba de todo el dinero que yo le he pasado a ella, que hay de 100, hay de 200, hay de 300, hay de 500,
Okay.
hay de 2000.
Okay, espéreme tantito, señor. He says that he sent her more than what she's saying, and he has all the documentation. He sent her between 100, 200, 300, and at 2 times over 1,000.
Okay. Senor, did you provide a documentation to our office with all of the payments that you have sent to mom?
Señor, ¿usted proporcionó los documentos a nuestra oficina de todos los pagos que mandó?
Me enviaron un documento para que yo lo llenara y yo puse todo las fechas y la cantidad de dinero que yo le enviaba. Y aquí tengo los otros documentos.
He said he only
los tengo.
submitted the form that was sent to him, the affidavit of direct payments. He listed all the dates and the amounts to us, but he never did send the copies that he's showing us now.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to enter the state's exhibit, the affidavit of direct payments submitted by Mrs. Martinez.
All right, Ms. Nash, ask Mr. Santizes if he sees this affidavit that I've placed on the screen.
Señor, ¿puede ver el documento que usted proporcionó?
Sí.
Yes.
Ask him if he has any objection to me seeing this document.
Que si tiene problema de que el juez vea el documento. No.
Ask Ms. Alaman the same question. Does she see it? And is it okay if I look at it?
Señor Alemán, ¿puede ver el documento y si tiene algún problema de que el juez lo vea?
No tengo problema, sí lo puedo ver.
She can see it and she does not have a problem.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
And Senor, you have documentation by Western Union of every single payment that you listed on that affidavit?
Señor, ¿usted tiene la documentación de Western Union enseñando cada pago que mandó?
Sí, aquí lo tengo.
Yes, he does.
And so back in March of 2022, March 31st of 2022, you sent mom $2,000?
Entonces, usted el 31 de marzo en 2022, usted le mandó a la señora un pago de $2,000?
Sí.
Yes.
And on April 5th, 2022, you sent her $2,000?
Y el 5 de abril del 2022, usted le mandó otros $2,000?
Sí.
Yes.
And back in June 26th of 2019, you sent her $500?
Y el 26 de junio de 2019 le mandó $500?
Sí.
Yes.
And you have the Western Union to show that?
¿Y tienen los documentos de Western Union enseñando? Yes, he does.
Sí. Aquí.
And the total of all of those added up equals, I've got it written down, $10,610. Is that about the amount that you have sent to mom that you believe you've sent for support?
Y dice que el total de todo lo que usted puso salió a 10,610 en total. ¿Es lo que usted contó?
Sí.
Yes.
¿Puedo decir algo?
He wants
Hubo
to
más,
say something.
sí, hubo más dinero lo que no.
He wants to know if he can say something.
Not yet. Answer the questions first, please.
Nada más conteste la pregunta. Él le va a preguntar al ratito. Okay.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ya no hay pregunta.
State rest. Do you have any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, state rest, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I got lots of questions. Mr. Santinez, you sent Miss Alamon $4,000 in 7 days between March of 2022 and April of 2022. I need to know why you sent her $4,000.
Él quiere saber que si usted le mandó $4,000 a la señora entre marzo 2022 y abril 2022, ¿por qué le mandó esa cantidad?
Porque ella los ocupaba.
Because she was needing it.
Now, where'd the money come from?
¿De dónde salió ese dinero, señor?
Mi trabajo.
He said from his work.
So, Mr. Santinez, you pay her $100 here, $50 there, $100 here, and all of a sudden you came up with $4,000. Why?
Dice que tiene una pregunta. ¿Cómo le pagaba 100 aquí, 200, 300 cada vez y de repente le pudo juntar 4,000 para mandarle?
Por mis ahorros.
He said from his savings.
From what?
Savings.
Okay. Ms. Alleman, Why did Mr. Santinez send you $4,000?
Señora Alemán, ¿por qué razón el señor le mandó $4,000?
Porque él quería que su hija estuviera aquí.
Because she was trying to, well, he wanted her to come to the U.S. He wanted his daughter to come to the U.S.
Where was the daughter then?
¿Dónde estaba la niña?
En Nicaragua.
She was in Nicaragua.
So she wasn't even in the state of Texas back. When did Ms. Alleman and the child move to the state of Texas?
¿Cuándo entraron ustedes al estado de Texas, señora?
Nosotros entramos el 30 de abril del año pasado, del 2022.
She said they came to the U.S. on April the 30th of last year.
Where were they living before then?
¿Dónde vivían antes?
En Managua, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
So how long after the child was born did the mother and the child move to Nicaragua?
¿Desde cuándo, desde que nació la niña, cuánto tiempo se movieron para Nicaragua otra vez?
Perdone la pregunta.
Cuando nació la niña, ¿dónde nació la niña?
En Nicaragua.
¿Y allá vivían?
Allá vivíamos.
She said that the child was born in Nicaragua and they've always lived in Nicaragua until April 30th of last year.
Okay. Ask Mr. Santinez where he was he living in Nicaragua too last year?
Señor Santines, ¿usted vivía en Nicaragua el año pasado?
No.
¿Dónde vivía?
Aquí, desde el 2016.
He says he's always lived here in the U.S. since 2016.
Okay. When did Miss Alleman and the child move to Texas? What was the month?
April the 30th
Thank
of
you.
2022.
I thought that's what she said, but too many months flashing in front of my face. All right, Ms. Alleman, since May of 2022, when you moved to state of Texas with the child, how much money has Mr. Santinez given you for the child?
Señor Alemán, desde mayo del 2022 hasta ahorita, ¿cuánto le ha dado el señor?
100 mensual y los 3 meses, noviembre, diciembre, 200 y 200. Enero no le ha dado.
She said 100 per month, and then November and December, 200, and January, she didn't get anything.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Gracias.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Santinez, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Señor Santínez, ¿tiene alguna otra cosa que quiera declarar acerca de este caso?
Sí.
Yes.
Ahí también yo le envié dinero a nombre de una familiar de ella porque ella no podía cobrar el dinero, le mandé $1,000. En total todo lo que le había mandado eran $8,100, $8,200, pero también ella estuvo viviendo 7 meses después que nació la niña, 7 meses en Cuba y yo la mantenía desde aquí en Cuba. No tengo las pruebas que digan que era el dinero a nombre de ella porque yo le pasaba el dinero a mi mamá porque ella estaba viviendo en mi casa en Cuba.
Okay, déjeme decirle. He just wants you to know that he also sent her money, but he didn't have documentation on that because he had to send it to his mother so that she can get it because she did not have an ID to be able to cash it herself. And that for about 7 months, she lived in Cuba and he also supported her there.
Anything else? from Mr.
¿Alguna cosa
Santinez?
más? No, nothing.
Ask Ms. Alaman if there's anything else that she thinks I need to know about this case before I make a ruling.
Señor Alemán, ¿tiene alguna otra cosa que quiera decir antes de que él diga lo que va a hacer?
No.
No, she does not.
All right. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Nash, I need you to tell both Ms. Alaman and Mr. Santinez that I'm going to accept the agreement that they have submitted regarding conservatorship, visitation, the regular child support, and the medical support. Go ahead.
Que señora Alemán, señor Santínez, el juez quiere que sepan que él va a aceptar lo que ustedes estaban de acuerdo acerca de los derechos de los dos, las visitaciones, la manutención directa y la manutención para la aseguranza. Disculpe.
The only issue I am deciding today is how much retroactive child support to grant in their case.
Lo único que él está tratando de decidir es la cantidad de manutención retroactiva. Okay.
Okay.
Based on the evidence that I've heard, the court is going to hold that the retroactive child support judgment will be $4,570. And that will be as of January the 31st of 2022. That will be repaid at a rate of $75 per month, each and every month until it's paid in full. I believe the agreement that's been presented to me, Ms. Alexander, starts child support as of February the 1st.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Nash, I need you to tell Ms. Alaman and Mr. Santinez that the retroactive child support judgment will be $4,570.
If I may, just 1 second, Judge, you said January 31st, 2022. Do you mean 2023? Okay, just want to make sure.
I'm old, Ms. Alexander, but thank you for pointing that out.
Señor Santínez, señor Alemán, el juez dice que por lo que proporcionaron, la documentación que proporcionaron, él decidió que va a dar manutención retroactiva a la cantidad de $4,570 y que que empieza el 31 de enero del 2023 y el señor lo va a tener que pagar a $75 por mes hasta que se pague todo.
And you told them that the repayment was going to be $75 a month.
Yes, sir.
I thought I heard you say that as well. Okay. Hold on. Ms. Nash, I need you to explain to the parties. They do not have the right. They have the right to appeal my decision in regards to the retroactive child support amount. They do not have the right to appeal any other issue except that issue.
Okay.
If they wish to do so, they have 3 business days for which to file a written notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson County, Texas. And they are to provide a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. The best as you can, Ms. Nash, would you translate that?
Okay. Yes, sir. Señor y señora, el juez dice que ustedes tienen derecho de apelar la decisión que él acaba de hacer. tienen 3 días para meter la solicitud de apelación y lo tienen que hacer escrito, lo tienen que entregar a la corte y tienen que proporcionar una copia a cada persona que estuvo en corte hoy, diciendo por qué razón está apelando el caso.
¿Puedo pedir algo?
¿Perdón?
Que si puedo argumentar algo.
No, señor, ya no. He wants to know if he can argue something.
No. Ms. Nash, I need you to ask Ms. Alaman if she has any questions before this hearing is finished about, Ms. Nash, explain to the parties that they're going to send me a court order. I'm going to sign it, get it back to them, then they're going to make copies of it, and send it to them.
Dice que lo que él acaba de decidir va a haber una orden. Él la va a firmar. Después de que la firme, a cada uno les van a mandar una copia. Y quiere saber si usted, señora Alemán, tiene alguna otra pregunta o alguna cosa que quiera decir.
No, estoy de acuerdo con todo lo que dijo el juez.
She says she does not have any other questions and she agrees to everything that you have just stated.
Ask Mr. Santinez now, he may ask a question if he wishes to do so.
Señor Santínez, que ahora sí puede hacer una pregunta.
Una restricción geográfica a mi hija.
¿Perdón?
Que quiero ponerle que me conceda una restricción geográfica a la niña.
Okay. He says that he just wants to put a geographical that to where the child does not go anywhere other than Jefferson County.
Then he should have put that in the court order. I
Dice
asked him
que,
if he agreed to the terms and conditions other than the retro. He said yes. So if
Di-
he's kind of stuck with the deal that he made.
dice que como usted estaba de acuerdo con todo lo demás, ya no puede
Hold on one second.
pedir eso, que tiene
Hold on
que.
one second.
Okay, espérame tantito.
Ms. Allen, what county do you live in?
Señor Alemán, ¿en qué condado vive?
Texas, por Arthur, Texas.
No, en el condado. El
County.
condado. She says Port Arthur, Texas.
Okay. And what county you live in, Mr. Santinez?
Señor Santínez, ¿en qué condado vive usted? En Jefferson.
Ms. Alexander, the local rule requires a domicile restriction. Why was not one put in this case?
My apologies on that one, Honor. This was not an order that I signed right off the get-go. My apologies. I should have caught it.
There is a local rule that there will be a domicile restriction in this case.
Okay.
Ms. Nash, apologize to Ms. Alaman for the court. Jefferson County does require a domicile restriction. Would you please tell her that?
Señor Alemán dice y señor Santínez dice que lo disculpe, que él no se fijó, pero sí hay una restricción del condado de Jefferson, que tiene que quedarse en el condado de Jefferson o los condados que toquen Jefferson, y para salir fuera de esos condados tiene que pedirle permiso a la corte o al papá. Yes, sir.
I normally would not have agreed to Mr. Santinez's request, but that's the rule of the courts in this county. So that should have been done from the outset. That was a mistake made by the other people involved in this case.
Señor Santínez dice que él normalmente no aprueba lo que usted pidió, pero como en el condado de Jefferson hay esa ley, entonces por esa razón la va a pedir. Okay. Okay.
Your Honor, is that Jefferson and contiguous?
That's the rule.
Thank you.
Now that I've made that change, I need to know, does Ms. Alleman have any questions about the change that I've made to the order? Because that was not part of the original discussion.
Señor Alemán, que si tiene alguna pregunta o que quiera decir o quiere algo que decir, porque como cambiamos la restricción.
Sí, yo quisiera saber por qué es que él está pidiendo ese tipo de restricción. Si yo he accedido con él en todos los sentidos, siempre le he prestado y siempre he estado dispuesta a prestarle a mi hija. Siempre, siempre, siempre él ha tenido esa oportunidad de tenerla, de verla cuando quiera y no puede. Él nunca ha podido.
She says that the only question that she has is why is Mr. Santinez asking for that? She's always abide by their agreement for him to see the child at any time, and she's always allowed it.
I can't speak to why he's asked the question. I just know that's the law in this area. So it should have been in the order to start with. And it
Dice
wasn't.
que él no sabe por qué razón el señor Santínez lo está preguntando, pero por ley lo tenemos que hacer de esa manera y tenía que haberse dicho al principio de la corte. Okay.
Please explain to Ms. Alleman that she can appeal that issue if she wishes to do so to the referring court.
Dice que, señora Alemán, que si usted todavía no está de acuerdo con algo, puede apelar el caso.
Okay.
But it is the rule, it is the law of the referring courts that we put the domicile restriction in place.
Dice que solamente quiere que esté consciente de que es la ley y aunque lo apele para el condado de Jefferson, tiene que haber una restricción.
Okay, está bien.
I apologize, Ms. Alleman. That should have been brought up at the start. And I apologize, Mr. Santinez, for not giving you the chance to ask me that at the start of the hearing. Please ask. Them
Dice que lo disculpen porque no se fijó en eso. Eso lo teníamos que haber explicado al principio de la corte.
Okay.
Okay.
My apologies. That was an oversight on my.
It happens. We're human beings, Ms. Alexander. We all do it. All right. Both parties are free to go. I thank them for being here today.
Que pueden colgar y que muchas gracias.
Okay.
This court is going to call cause number F213830. This is in the 279th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas. And it's in the interest of Sheldon and Taylor Jackson. Mr. Sheldon Jackson, would you raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air?
Yes, sir. My hand is in the air.
Sheldon Jackson, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir. I swear.
Thank you, sir. You put your hand down. Ms. Herman, would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear, Ms. Herman, the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Ms. Brown-Zito, are you handling this case for state?
I am, Your Honor, and we have Miss Nash.
Dolores Nash, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You put your hand down. Case has been called. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I would call Miss Herman. Will you please state your name?
Caressa Herman.
And we're here today to talk about your children, Sheldon Jr. and Taylor. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a prior order that ordered Mr. Jackson to pay child support. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that was way back on January 5th of 2012. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am.
About 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just here to talk about child support. So how are the children covered for health insurance?
They have Medicaid.
And through the arbitrator now, they have insurance through my
Mr.
salary.
Jackson? Mr. Jackson, hold on for 1 second, okay? They'll get to you for questions, I promise.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
That's okay.
Do you know if Jackson has any other children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am.
You do not know?
I didn't. I mean, as far as I know, he doesn't.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. I would pass this witness.
Call your next witness.
And I would call Mr. Jackson. Will you please state your name?
Sheldon Jackson.
And Mr. Jackson, you started to say something that you have insurance now available through your work?
Yes, ma'am. It was set up through the arbitrator when we spoke to her earlier this month. She had called my job and set it up.
Oh, okay. So they helped you set it up when they were working on this potential court order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you have any idea how much it's going to cost you to cover your children for health insurance?
I think she said around 100, ballpark around 100 a month. It seemed
And
kind of
that,
low, but that's what she said.
okay. And that's just the medical, or is that medical and dental?
From my understanding, it was medical and dental.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, do you have any other minor children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you work.
I don't think he heard your question.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Jackson, where do you work?
Mr.
Hello?
Jackson, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I had a Bluetooth in and I guess it died. Apologize.
Where do you work, Mr. Jackson?
Pepsi,
Pepsi? Okay. And how long have you worked there?
since the summer of 2018, so about 4.5 years now.
Okay. And do you get paid by the hour, or are you salaried?
It's salary plus commission.
Salaried plus commission? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have you gotten a W-2 in to tell you how much you made last year?
I can look it up real quick on my online. I don't think I've gotten it paper, but I think I do all of it electronically, where they kind of have it on the website that you download.
Okay. Do you have your last paycheck? Is that what you're going to look up?
I can look at the last one from last year, if that would give you the total from last year.
That would.
Do you mind if I go look it up real quick?
I do not. While you're looking that up, can I ask you a question, Mr. Jackson?
Of course.
Okay. One of the things that in the process of getting the order together, proposed order together, they were saying that you pay $50 a month for a cell phone bill for. Is that correct?
For Sheldon, for just Sheldon Jr.?
Is that who it's for, your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I turned Taylor's phone off.
Okay. And are there any other
what? I'm sorry. Are you still there?
No, I think we've lost Ms. Brown. Do that. Ms. Brownzito, you need to unmute. You're going to ask questions.
Sorry about that, Judge. Mr. Jackson, are there any other bills that for Ms. Herman that you say you help with?
Well, it's not really for her. Sheldon's haircut. He goes and gets his haircut every couple, sometimes few weeks. Whenever I go get my haircut, that's not really much. It's only like maybe $40 a month, 60 maybe. His his gaming stuff isn't that much either. It's only like $20 a month, and it's been a while since I've actually helped her with any of her actual bills.
Okay. Now, did you find that check stub?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It was $70K, 7607.
7607,
Yes, ma'am.
and that was the last check of the year.
Yes, ma'am.
You made $7,607.
No, I apologize. 70K, $70,607.
There you go. Thank you.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness.
By next witness.
I have no further witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Jackson, how often do you get paid?
Every week.
Thank you. And you said you didn't have any other dependents besides the two that you have with Miss Herman?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Hey, Miss Herman, you got any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Mr. Jackson, do you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
Yes, actually. You're getting ready to make a ruling on how much that she gets is that I'll be paying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I don't pay any of her bills, but I do spend a good bit of money on the kids.
Good.
Even
We both do.
I have a lot of receipts for how I have to provide them with the same things that she has to provide them for when they're at my home.
That's your responsibility, Mr. Jackson.
No, I understand that, but I also send them with things to her house also. Like
No.
Miss Herman, you remember when I asked you if there was something else you needed to say? You said you didn't? Honor that and stop talking.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson. What'd you say? You send stuff to her house with her?
It's and I
well, hey, Mr. Jackson, I got a fix for that. Stop. Don't send her more stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Also, so don't send her any more things. Don't send any more money. And the other thing I wanted to ask was, I know the arbitrator was saying that $1,250 was the proposed amount, and I'm sure you probably came up with a little bit more.
Actually, Mr. Jackson, I came up with less.
Oh, okay. I know I would like to continue to do things for him,
Okay.
but I feel like over 1,000 was kind of much, and that's more than, it's like a check and a half of mine. I don't actually get $1,000 checks. My checks
Right.
end up between 750 and about 900. You know,
Okay.
on the good end.
Right.
And so that's all. I completely understand and agree that she deserves more. If you know she needs it, absolutely. I just thought that the amount was a little bit steep. That's all.
Okay. I mean, I'm not, and whatever it was that you and Miss Herman and the AG's office tried to settle in their office is irrelevant to me. I don't care. I'm gonna set the child support based on the income that I've heard in testimony today, which is $70,000 a year. It's gonna be set.
Yes, sir.
Court will find the court has jurisdiction in this case. The court's going to find that there has been a material and substantial change of circumstance. Mr. Jackson is obviously making more money now than he was making back in 2012. And I'm going to increase the child support. The child support is going to be increased to $1,075 per month beginning February the 1st of 2022. And Mr. Jackson will be ordered to maintain the health insurance and the dental insurance on the children. All right. Those payments beginning February the 1st of 2022. And Mr. Jackson will be responsible for court costs, but I'll give him until July 31st of 2023 to pay my court cost. Ms. Brown-Zito, does that take care of all the issues before me today in regards to this case? You're muted, Ms. Brown-Zito, so I cannot hear you if you're responding to my question.
I'm sorry. What was the amount of credit given for medical and dental?
$400 for the medical and $35 for the dental.
400?
For the medical.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
35 for the dental. Anything else, Ms. Brown-Zito?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Herman, Mr. Jackson, they're going to send me a proposed order. If it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it, get it back to them, and then and then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. You don't have to be satisfied with my ruling today. If either party is dissatisfied, you have 3 days with which to file written notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson County. That's 3 business days. Your appeal has to be in writing. It's got to be specific. You got to tell the referring court what part of my ruling you disagree with, and you're responsible for sending a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. All right, Ms. Herman, Mr. Jackson, I wish you both the best of luck. You're both free to go.
So is this over, or can I still ask another question?
I'm finished with my ruling, so there's nothing else that I'm ruling on today. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's not about the child support. It was about it, but I guess I'll have to deal with that another time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good luck to y'all.
Thank you.
This court's going to call cause number F219869. This is on the 279th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Jonah Geron. Mr. Spencer Geron and Miss Lola Boudreaux, please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. You can both put your hands down. All right, this appears to be a default, Miss Overstreet.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's see if you got service. Court's going to find that on January the 11th, 2023, it appears that Ms. Freeman was personally served with citation in Jefferson County, Texas. That citation was returned on file on the same date. in Jefferson County. It's been on file for 10 days. Has she filed an answer? Well, I know she hasn't filed an answer. I'm looking at the file. I got to get out of the habit of saying that. I'm looking at the file. I know she hasn't filed one. All right. Let's see if you sent her notice of the hearing. The court's going to find that Ms. Freeman received notice of this hearing at the same address for which she was served. She's not here, so this case can go forward by default. You can call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Mr. Jerron. Would you state your name, please?
Spencer Jerome.
And you're the father of Jonah Tyree Jerome?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the court's file, including the controlling order.
We'll take judicial notice of its own file.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Jerome, back when this original order was entered in 2014, you and Ms. Freeman were sharing custody of the child. Is that correct?
Well, if you want to say that, yeah, I mean, I do what I was doing what I can do, but I don't get to hardly see the child. So, you know.
Okay. So you're not seeing the child on a regular basis anymore?
No, Freeman, she's nowhere to be found. You know, it's like right now she's not, and she has other issues. I just got tired of that. I mean, I did what I can do for my child. At the time of 2014, I was giving her like $100 a week, you know, and then I got locked up, you know what I'm saying? I went to prison. And so then I got out. I try to get me a stable job right now, which is not permanent job, but it's something to keep me afloat back to jail.
Okay. And you're not contributing anything to her anymore, correct?
I've been giving her something here and there, but it's hard to contact her. She doesn't have a number. And I can't find her. I don't know where she's at.
Okay. Now, do you have any safety concerns or issues with your address being in this court file, court order?
Not that, I mean, no, I mean.
Okay. Now, where are you currently working?
I work for Zachary.
Okay. And how long have you worked there?
I worked there for about 18 months.
And how much do you make an hour there?
I make $22 an hour and we're down to 50 hours right now.
Okay. And how many hours were you working before?
Before then, they was making us work 13 and 1, which I was putting in a nice little money at the time. So right now they're adjusting to cut back because, you know what I'm saying, it's not a permanent job, you know, it's a up and going construction. And so they're building a new plant. And so they're cutting down on force right now. So they brought us down to 50 hours, then I think in about 2 more weeks, maybe down to 40 hours only for my pay. My pay every week right now is a gross of $1,000 with the taxes taken out right now.
Okay. What is it before taxes are taken out?
Before taxes would be like close to about $1,200, something like that. But when the tax is taken out, I get a check for $1,060 something, I think. Yeah, right now.
But the gross before anything is $1,200 a week.
Maybe something close to about $1,200, you know, with the taxes and everything. Yeah, taken out.
Okay. Now, how is this child currently covered for insurance?
I pay child support and they take it out my check.
But who provides the insurance? Do you know?
Ma'am, I don't have that type of paperwork. I just know they just take the money out of Zachary payroll from my account.
Okay. And in the prior order, it stated that Ms. Freeman was to get government insurance. Do you think it's still some kind of governmental insurance?
Can't guess. Ms. Overstreet.
Okay.
Either he knows or he doesn't. Can't guess.
Okay. Sir, do you have any insurance available through your job?
No, at the time right now, I mean, I'm just getting out in 2021. So I didn't put any insurance on myself or anything. because I had to get myself, straight, get me a home, get me a car, it's been hard on me. I've been locked up for years. I've been incarcerated for 10 years before, did probation. I'm trying to not go back to the streets. I'm trying to stay free. I'm trying to be productive, do right. And so I have got blessed with a good job, but it's not permanently, but I'm trying to have the job permanently, but it's not hard on me, but I do what I can for my child. But my child, I cannot see, I got the visitation papers, but when I go to the grandma house, it's not there. She's not where to be found. And I knows what she does. So I just do what I can do,
Okay. Do you have any other children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, just this one. All right. Your Honor, I have nothing further of Mr. Jerron. I'd like to pass the witness and call Ms. Boudreaux.
Go ahead.
Ms. Boudreaux, will you state your name?
Lola Boudreaux.
And you work for the Office of the Attorney General?
I do.
And how long have you worked there?
18 years, 19 years.
And what's your job title?
Financial specialist.
And were you able to review Mr. Jerron's wages?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the court how much Mr. Jerron made for the last 12 months gross?
He made for 2022, he made $69,624.50.
Okay, so that didn't include his wages, any of his wages for 2023?
Do not have access to that now.
Okay, and what was his monthly gross for 2022?
That averages out to $5,802.04 monthly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing further of this witness, Your Honor. Pass the witness and state rests.
So, Mr. Jerron, basically what Ms. Boudreaux just told me, testified to under oath, is that you make a pretty decent living, right?
Not right now, no more.
How come? What happened?
Well, I changed my W-2 form. I had 4 and 1 on there, because I didn't want to pay the taxes. I got penalized on the IRS for $5,000.
Mr. Jerron, that's between you and the IRS that you didn't file the right number of dependents.
Yeah, so I changed it for this.
But you're still making pretty good money where you work.
Well, I make $1,000 now a week,
Is that what you're bringing home?
Yep, that's what I bring home now. So I put single in 1. So I make $1,000 a week. That's what I got.
Okay. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jerron, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling regarding the child support?
Well, I don't see my child, and Yamanika is not here today because of her drug habit. So
Okay.
I tell y'all, I mean, she's
Okay.
not going to show up. She never shows up. And this is the reason why I don't see my kid, because
Right.
she's never found. So
I will sympathize with you, Mr. Duran. You do have absolute rights to visit with your child. Unfortunately, if that's being denied to you, then you're going to have to file a lawsuit to get those rights confirmed for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
There's no state agency out there, Mr. Duran, that's going to assist you in that. You're either going to have to do that on your own or hire an attorney to file that lawsuit, locate the mother in this case, and see if a court above me would be willing to punish her for not allowing that visitation. You understand?
Yeah, I don't know where to go, sir. You know, I'm just trying to make it so I won't get in prison.
Right. Well, the problem is, Mr. Duran, and don't be offended, but sometimes I do say things that are kind of blunt and people don't take offense. But you make enough money, Mr. Duran, that you could hire an attorney and file the suit against the mother to try to make sure that your rights are protected. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like I'm making money, but when you got to pay rent to stay free, if I don't stay free, I go to jail at this point.
I know a lot of folks, Mr. Duran, that don't make $1,000 a month that are able to get done what they need to get done in order to exercise their rights. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find that there is there has been a material substantial change of circumstance. I'm going to adjust the child support in this case. Starting April the 1st of 2023, Mr. Duran's child support is going to be increased to $725 per month. His medical support is going to be increased to $135 a month. I didn't hear any evidence in regards to any judgments in the pleading, so any requests for judgments in this case are denied. Mr. Duran will be responsible for court costs, but I'll give him until September 30th of 2023 to pay my court costs. Any request for non-disclosure is denied. Ms. Overstreet, does the state of Texas hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Duran, what's going to happen now is Ms. Overstreet's office is going to send me a proposed order. As long as it matches the changes that I've made to your original order today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Now, you don't have to be satisfied with my ruling today. If you're dissatisfied with Mr. Duran, you have 3 business days, which to file written notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson.
You say I got to pay $700 a month?
I ordered you to pay $860 a month in total child support and medical support.
$865 a month?
No, $860. That's $725 in child support and $135 in medical support.
So altogether, how much it is? You say
$860 per month in child support.
Now I have a question. My job is not permanent, right? This is a shutdown job,
right?
And they're gonna lay off pretty soon. I'll probably be the ones that lay off. I have a felony conviction, sir.
Right.
Which is hard for me to get a job.
Right.
I was blessed to even get this job so I could survive.
Right.
I have to register once a year, every year. If I don't have an actual place to stay, I go back to the prison.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I don't make that much money. I was making money when the hours was a lot, right? Now they cut down on man hours in the plant. So I'm only making 50 hours a week. And I take home 1,000. My rent is $650, not including the utilities, my bills, my car, because I don't have a car to get to work.
Right.
You know, I'm just asking you to really consider and to look into my account and look at the.
No, if you knew how the system worked, Mr. Duran, and you knew how the math was done, you'd figure out real quick that I didn't set your child support based on the maximum amount of money that you make. I set it on kind of an average of what you're doing. So you don't have to be satisfied with it, Mr. Duran. You've got 3 business days with which to file a written notice of appeal with the Jefferson County District Clerk's office. Okay.
Okay. What happens when I get fired or laid off?
Then you need to contact the AG's office and let them know and see if they'll do something to file another lawsuit to decrease your child support. Or you can hire an attorney yourself, Mr. Duran, and file your own lawsuit to decrease your child support.
All right. So
Mr. Duran, I don't set child support based on what might happen in the future. I base it on what you're doing now and what you've done in the past. Do you want me to say, well, Mr. Duran's not going to be working in a couple of months, I'm just going to set his child support at 0?
Well, I already know I'm not gonna be working. I'm a fairly convicted. I came home and hardly get a job.
You've been working for the last 18 months, Mr. Duran. So I'm gonna assume that if you're not working at this job, you'll be able to, in construction, you'll be able to go back right back out and pick up somewhere else. That you may not be able to make the same money that you're making right now. But again, Mr. Duran, that's my ruling. There's no sense in talking about it any further. I've given you what your rights are, Mr. Duran, okay?
$860, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good luck to you, Mr. Duran.